So with the end of the year approaching and the start of the new year quickly approaching, I have done some reflecting, and that, just the timing of, the year along with many of you all's comments have made me really reflect in the past month. And what are the questions that you all have been asking me? Well, you've been saying, Michael, I see that you now feel comfortable with Spanish. You've mentioned possibly learning another language. What's the next step? Okay. And so this video is dedicated to that, pretty much to the answer to that question. It's going to be my language learning goals for the year of 2023. I will be learning a new language. I'm going to talk about a mix of a bunch of things in this video. I'm going to talk about the future of this channel, what you all would like to see from this channel, if you'd like to see progress on my new language, what new language or possible languages will I be learning. And so this video will be a mix of all of those things. So stay tuned and we'll get into it now. So I have achieved my goal with the Spanish language. You might be thinking to yourself when I say that, well, Michael, what do you mean? You're trying to say, you're trying to say that you speak perfect Spanish? That is by no means what I'm trying to say. I'm just simply stating that my goal in the beginning was to be able to speak Spanish at a decent level. I was not even planning on getting to an advanced level in Spanish. I just wanted to be able to communicate, create friendships, be able to work and use Spanish, be able to be semi-fluent, right? That was my goal. I've achieved that goal at this point. So in the past month or two, I've been in a limbo, okay? And the limbo, I had that limbo because I never really saw myself as a language learner. And I know that's kind of stupid, and because I literally taught myself another language, but I never saw myself as like somebody in the language learning world or the language learning community. Just a guy that wanted to learn Spanish fairly, entre comillas, right? In quotes, a fairly easy language to learn. I just figured like, hey, I've done that, check it off the list. Now I'm gonna move on to other things, explore my other hobbies in life like tennis and hiking, and just live a life as a bilingual person. I thought that would be my fate. With that said, as of late, I've really missed that mental nourishment, follow me, that mental nourishment, that mental high that you get from learning new things in the language learning process. And so this month, that spark has come back, right? It wasn't there even last month, but this month, that spark has come back. And so I will, and I'm documenting it here right now, starting in January of 2023, one of my New Year's resolutions will be to learn a new language. What that new language is, I'll share with you all, and I kind of need you all's opinion on which one you think would be best to learn right now. And there's a reason why I'm asking you all that. Before I get to that, I also wanted to add here, because I know some people are going to say, well, Michael, your accent in Spanish is still not perfect. You still don't sound like a native speaker. Guys, that is not my goal, was not my goal. I don't care about that. Like, I don't. I just wanted to be able to communicate, understand the culture, travel, and I'm fine. I'm good with that. I view language learning, my language learning guide is Steve Kaufman. I've mentioned him on my channel before. If you listen to him speak other languages, even if you listen to him speak Spanish, he doesn't speak Spanish perfectly, but he speaks well enough to get his point across. He speaks Spanish. That's my goal in learning languages, just to speak it. I'm not trying to be perceived as a native Colombian or a native Spanish speaker. That's not my goal, okay? So one of the motivations that I now have, some of the motivations, that I have now for learning another language are, again, that hunger for that curiosity, that dopamine hit that you get from progressing in a language, but it's also to expand my horizons in terms of just being able to speak languages of different origins. What do I mean by that? I already speak 2 languages of European origin. I speak English and I speak Spanish, okay? So I consider those languages as languages that cover the European continent. Obviously, everyone in Europe is, they don't speak these languages, but their origins are in Latin. I think English, has its origin in Latin, or it's a Germanic language. I don't know. I'm not a linguist, but either way, I now speak 2 European languages, and because Spanish dominates the Americas, outside of even the United States, it dominates. So because Spanish dominates the Americas, I can say I've checked off the European language category, South America, Central America, and North American language category. And I would like to learn 2 other languages, possibly 3, but for sure 2 other languages that come from different continents, different origins, because I think the learning process would be very unique, learning a language that doesn't have a base in a language that I'm familiar with. So I plan on learning a language that has its origin in the African continent and a language that has its origin on the Asian continent. I plan on taking 2.5 years to learn both. And hopefully after the 2.5 years, I can get those languages to the point at which my Spanish is now. And so I'm 27 right now, guys, those who don't know. So before I'm 32, or like by the time I'm 32, I would like to become a polyglot, like English, Spanish. I'm gonna tell you the other 2 languages in a second, but that's the goal. That's the reason. I have a curiosity that's just not fulfilled by me only being bilingual, okay? And I don't know where this shift has come, but it's there now. So much so that these languages that I'm going to present to you all in a second, I already have podcasts downloaded on my phone. I've already got books coming to my house. I've already looked at italki tutors that I think I'm gonna wanna work with. So I'm getting the ball rolling with this process. Another reason why I want to pick up new languages outside of just being a bilingual English-Spanish speaker is because in my new job, all of you know, hopefully you know, I teach ESOL now, and I have students that obviously are native Spanish speakers, but I have students that come from different backgrounds. I have students from everywhere in the world. I don't even want to name any place because I literally have students from every continent that I work with to teach English. And at times it can be unfair for the students that speak Spanish because I can make references to their language that I can't with the languages of the other students that I teach. And so I just think it would be a great tool to have in my toolbox in the job that I'm working now to be able to support those students. So that's another reason why I plan on picking up these 2 new languages. Another reason, I'm kind of rambling here, but another reason why I want to continue the language learning process with a new language is because I like the satisfaction that I get from feeling like I'm progressing in something in my spare time. And so what do I mean by that? When I was actively learning Spanish, because even now when I invest time in the Spanish language, I'm not actively learning. It's super passive and it's just maintenance at this point. So a lot of times I find myself with the extra time that I do have, the little extra time that I do have, but the time that I do have, I am consuming rather than improving myself in some way. And I know life is not about constantly improving, but I personally as a person I like when my leisure time is spent doing something that's not super demanding or work related, but that still is productive, okay? And so being a constant language learner will provide me with that. And I think that's one of the formulas for my personal happiness in life. And so that's another reason why. The other reason, the last reason, guys, and I'm gonna be honest, I know a lot of people say, Michael, you're so humble. And I am a humble guy, you know, I would say so. But we all succumb to vanity at some point. And there are some vain reasons for me wanting to learn more languages. I like the idea of being a 32-year-old man who started learning languages as an adult at 25 and is now a polyglot who speaks 4 languages pretty much not native-like but fluent, you know? I think that's super impressive. It's somewhat vain, but I like that. I don't know why. I experience that now with the Spanish language, and I try to play it cool a lot. But when people hear me speaking Spanish, again, not people from YouTube or anything like that, but people just in everyday life that think I'm just a random guy, when they hear me speak Spanish, or people at my job that hear me speak Spanish, they're like, you speak Spanish? And I'm like, yeah, I speak Spanish. I try to keep it cool, right? I'm just like, yeah, I speak Spanish. I like that feeling. It's like and again, I shouldn't care. I should not care. We all shouldn't care what other people think. But I do like the perceived intelligence that comes with that. You know, when you say that, people just automatically assume that you're intelligent. It could be true or it could not be, but that's just a perception, and I like that. Again, it's maybe 5% of my reason for continuing with language learning, but it is a reason nonetheless. And so that's another little small element to me starting with a new language in in January as well. Oh, this video is super rambly. So the 2 elements that I was looking for when I was determining what language I want to start with next year were the way that the language sounds. I know that that's super like simplistic and all that, but with Spanish, guys, I love the way Spanish sounds. And I'm not exaggerating. I can listen to certain Spanish speakers, and just the way they speak will make me smile. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if it's a man, if it's a woman, it will just make me smile. The way they speak, the word choice. Once you really understand the language, you're like, oh my gosh, this language is like art, okay? Spanish is like that. It literally is. And I'm not even a super creative, artsy person, but the Spanish language is like that. And so one of the things that I was looking for was that same vibe from hearing the language, okay? So that's the first thing. Obviously, and the second thing that I mentioned was that it would need to come from other continents besides the Americas or Europe, because I now speak 2 European languages. And so long story short, the languages that I'm considering starting, I've already started kind of with one. I can kind of count. Numbari. That should give you a hint. That's how you say numbers in this language. Numbari. I think that's right. I've been learning a little bit. But the 2 languages are Swahili or Vietnamese. Okay? And I'm going to stop the video and then I'll come back and explain why. But those are the 2 languages that I plan on starting with. And the reason for that is because, number one, I like the way they sound. I really like the way they sound. For me, I can't speak for everyone else, but if you hear Swahili, to me it just sounds good. Like it sounds, I can't even describe it. It just sounds good to me, and Vietnamese does as well. Vietnamese has a unique sound, but it sounds good to me. I like the way it sounds. And so those will be the 2 languages that I'm considering. Again, I've already started with one of them, but I'll get into why I chose these and a little bit more information after this. I'm also going to talk about what should happen with my channel now that I'm learning another language. I'll get into it. So as I said, I like the way both of these languages sound, and the countries in which these languages are spoken are countries that I do have a strong desire to visit. There were other languages that I considered, but just a part of me learning a language will be, I think a part of the process for me that I enjoy is going to a country where that language is spoken to test out my abilities. That was a great feeling when I got to that point in Spanish, where I was able to go to a country and defend myself and hold my own. And so I want to have that same experience with these new languages. Well, Swahili is spoken in a lot of countries that I would like to visit: Rwanda, Kenya, Uganda, Zambia, Kenya. These are countries that I would like to visit, and so Swahili serves that purpose there, along with Vietnamese. I would like to visit Vietnam at some point. I have some students that are from Vietnam that have told me a lot of good things, and my best friend from like kindergarten up to 3rd grade, his name was Justin Thai, and he was from Vietnam, and he also left a big impression on me in terms of that culture, the food, and all that. So long story short, that is those are some other reasons why I'm considering those 2. Now let's get on to what will happen with my channel, because I want to document my progress through each of these languages, but I'm aware that this channel in particular is a niche channel. It's focused on learning Spanish. It's literally focused on learning Spanish. Before this channel was named Mike Ben, the title was Mike's Spanish. Those of you who've been here long, you know that, right? This channel was called Mike's Spanish before I had like 1,000 subscribers, I think. So what do you all, like, as the people that watch my videos, I want to respect you all's attention, you all's subscription, you know, you all's attention to my channel. And so would you like to see me document that on this channel? Do you all view my channel as strictly a language learning channel in general, or do you view me as a conduit for the Spanish language? Because again, I approach YouTube not from the perspective of entertaining myself, but from the perspective of serving you all or helping you all in your process of learning Spanish. That's the sheer purpose of this channel. Now, I do have some videos planned, and in a second I'll go through the few videos that I do have left right now planned already for this channel. But if you all would like me to just continue only uploading Spanish content on this channel, let me know, and I'll do another channel. And the other channel will be similar to my first one. It's just to document my progress. It's nothing super sophisticated or super fancy. But what do you all think is my opinion? I'm rambling too much today. I need to cut this down a little bit. What do you all think? Upload my progress on the new language, or stick with Spanish only content here? Let me know what you think. So I also need you all's advice for what you'd like to see on this channel moving forward, because to be honest, guys, I never wanted this channel to be an advice channel. I just was getting so many comments that I decided to do advice videos, really just to document what I've been doing. But like, I really don't like giving advice like that. I don't really find it to be useful. I kind of find it to be boring also. What I do enjoy doing are conversations. I like still having conversations in Spanish. And so I'd like to do that. I'd like to continue doing that. If you all, enjoy those, please let me know, and I'll continue with those on this channel. I also like to document my travels. I know in my video, again, I'm not really contradicting myself because we're fluid human beings and we change our opinions all the time. But I will, guys. Look, I canceled my trip to Panama, but I still had that credit there. And so I am going back to Panama. I'm going with a friend of mine, and we're going to do this seems fun to me, and I was just ignorant to this. I don't know why I perceived Panama to just be Panama City, and that didn't seem interesting to me at the time when I had the opportunity to go. But this time, I'm going with a friend, and we're going to do a road trip across the entire country. I think you can get from one end of the country to the other in like 8 hours. And I like road trips. I like driving. That's like super fun to me. I love getting in the car. I'm always volunteering to drive on road trips. I like that. So I will be going to Panama, and I would love to document my 7-day journey throughout the entire country, and document everything there. So that will be I'll come out with some videos like that pretty soon, in like a month and a half or two. So those videos I have coming. I have conversations continuously coming. I don't want to give any more advice, and so I don't know what else you all would like for me to do here on this channel to help you all in your language learning journey. Because again, this channel is just to serve you. And if I start getting repetitive with videos, I think it would be best to stop making videos and just leave this channel as like a time capsule for those that want to come back and just pick up the information. I don't want to keep regurgitating the same thing. So again, I'm just asking advice. Estoy pidiendo consejos. ¿Qué quieren ver? What do you all want to see from this channel if I do not upload my progress with these new languages? So just let me know. Again, comments here are super important because this is how I determine what to create. This is also what keeps me motivated to upload videos, because I get inspiration from you all's comments all the time. So to close out this video, I don't want you all to think that I'm abandoning the Spanish language. I'm still going to be taking at least I'm going to be booking 1 hour-long Spanish conversation per week, and I'll probably do that for the rest of my life, just to maintain the language. I view it as like exercise, right? You don't get in shape and then stop working out. That's not how it works. You get in shape so that you can continue to build that habit and work out. And so I'm going to do the same thing with the Spanish language. And I still will travel, most likely to Colombia more often than not, because it's just the country where I feel most connected to. But I'll still travel through Latin America at times. Still have a desire to go to Cuba and some other places. But obviously, if I'm going to be learning another language, my focus will be in that area. And so I just wanted to update you all with that in terms of how I plan on maintaining Spanish over the next 2 years as I embark on, I didn't tell you all, this year I will be learning Swahili. Wow, I literally did not realize that I hadn't said it yet. This year, the first of the 2 languages that I will be learning is Swahili. And I've already started learning a little bit, just like the numbers and things like that. But that's the language that I'll be learning this year. And then, like I said, in 2.5 years, hopefully at that point I feel comfortable speaking Swahili, and then I'll move on to Vietnamese, okay? Really quick before I close this video, I hope that this video wasn't super rambly or super long. I always say that, but I am not 100% sure what you all enjoy watching. And I hate when YouTubers put out videos that I'm like, why would you think that I as a subscriber would want to watch that? Like, where did you get that idea from? So hopefully this doesn't give you all the same impression. Either way, I appreciate any advice, any guidance on what you'd like to see. I also plan on, if you all would be interested, the 2 Spanish accents, dialects, countries that I feel most comfortable, that I feel most informed about are Colombia and Mexico. And so I would like to, before I halt on making videos in Spanish, I would like to do a detailed guide to Colombian Spanish, like based on every region and all that, and a detailed guide to Mexican Spanish. But I just need to know if that's something that you all would be interested in. If it is, just let me know. I appreciate you all watching. There's somebody pulling up on the left of me, and I don't want to look like a weirdo recording out here in the rain by myself. Not that it matters, it doesn't matter, but I'm out, guys. I appreciate you all as always for watching, and your comments are greatly appreciated. Ciao pues.